Hello, everybody. It's time for the best advice you're ever going to get in your whole life. Homework advice. And we're doing it right now. All right, let's take a look at this homework advice. In this assignment, this is a pretty cool assignment. You will create a interaction that lets you input a city. And then when you push the interact button, it will give you the current conditions at that city and then show a little icon of the weather conditions. I'll show you how that works. And then down here, it will show you the 7-day forecasts at that city, and it'll show that in a data frame. This is much more about how to generate these nice looking outputs than it really is going to be about dealing with the weather and stuff like that. I'm going to help you through most of the API calls because that's really not the gist of where I want you to be focusing your energy. What I want to focus your energy on is, number one, learning how to take JSON data and get it into a data frame, which is pretty easy. We saw that in the walkthrough. In the small group for this week. And then number two, how you can do things like do this nice looking formatting. So as usual, I will start at the end and show you what this looks like. And I will enter in a city. And then I'll hit this button. And then it says, few clouds with a temperature of 83 degrees Fahrenheit. There's my little icon. And then here's my 7-day forecast for Miami. It looks like it's going to be gorgeous down there. Okay, let's do something a little worse, like how does Syracuse, New York look? Okay, 39 degrees. And there's our highs and lows for the week. Wednesday, it looks like it might be nice. Not so bad. Okay. That's basically it. How do you do it? Let's go and walk through it. So the first thing we need to do is, you can go through and look at all these hints and advice. And, this is really where it's going to help you out a lot is if you go through and look at those hints. But we're going to get some of the basic stuff out of the way, and then you can follow a lot of these hints yourself, and I'll show you where some of them are. First and foremost, big picture. Input, process, output. It's important, right? As you can see with these last couple of homework assignments, we're getting closer and closer to what you might do for a project. This is still not very project worthy. It's, the solution to this problem is only, I'm going to look over here. It's only a mere 50 lines of code to do this, but it's an introduction to at least, the quality that we expect, the polish that we expect out of your project. So we're going to input a city and state or location that can be geocoded. Mount Rushmore, Carrier Dome. And then we're going to output the weather. And we got to be specific here. We're going to output the current conditions. Output. Current conditions. And if I want to be specific, it's really just, conditions and temperature. Then we want to display that icon, the weather icon. Then we want to display in a data frame the 7-day forecast. That's it. Okay, steps. Input, location. Geocode, location, get weather based on geocode. Then we need to extract out the current conditions and temperature from weather output. We need to display the weather icon. And then we need to extract out the 7-day forecast from the weather output and display in a data frame. I'm just writing down the tasks as my head is thinking of them. I mean, I could be like way off on this. Okay, but a lot of this stuff you'll see is really going to revolve around us knowing how to deal with the output that we get from the weather API, as usual. You know, that's part of your project, is figuring out whatever API you're going to use and how you can wrestle the 800-pound gorilla that is the output of that API. Okay, so we've done geocoding before. I am going to grab, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to grab our geocoding from before. We've done this function a few times already. But before I do that, let's get our imports out of the way. I'm going to import pandas as PD. I'm going to import requests. I'm going to, from IPython display, import display and HTML, and from IPython widgets, I need to import interact manual. I think that's all my imports. There might be more. I don't know. We're just going to go with that for now. And let's see where we're at with things. Okay, it looks good. Okay. Just looking over the requirements. Okay. And my geocode, we've done this so many times before. I'm just going to paste it in here. There it is. And let's test. Every time you write a function, you should test it. You should actually write the code before you write the function. We'll do that next. Okay. Let's test it out. Geocode Syracuse, New York. And then what does it output? There you go. It outputs a list of places. That first place looks like Syracuse, New York, and it's got a Latin Elan. Right? So this is a pretty rough geocode. I still got to go from there and figure out what to do, but that's okay. Usually when you deal with APIs, return it all and then let the caller deal with the, the extracting out. Right? So if I want to get the Latin Elan out of here, it would be geocode, the first one, right? And then now I've got lat long keys. But, we're going to make an assumption that the first one is the most accurate one in the search. Okay, so that's geocode. Let's move on and wrestle with the weather. So here's the docs for the weather. This is great for your project. Learning how to read API docs is important. Okay, I'm looking at this one call API, and there it is. All right, so I'm going to copy that. There's my latitude and longitude right there, right? So I'm going to try this out. I'm not going to write this. It would be crazy to write this as a function right now because I don't know if it's going to even work, right? So why do that? I mean, this was different. I got this like from the lab, right? So I need a lat and a long. So I'm going to take this lat. I'm going to say lat equals this. And long equals that. That's going to be Syracuse, New York. I'm going to hard code this until I know I can write it as a function. Okay, then my URL is going to be, remember the URL when you're doing requests is just the base URL, which is just this. Just that. And then this stuff ends up being the query string. And this is going to be, again, I'm setting up my joke at this point. Lat. And then I need the variable. And then lon. It's another key. And I need the variable. Why are these keys? That's how the query string works. Okay. Exclude part. I don't know what that means. I probably should read the API documentation. I know what lat and long means. Because I'm not an idiot. Well, if you ask my wife, you might hear a different story. But anyway. let's see, exclude. Okay, using this parameter, you can exclude some parts of the weather API data. It's optional, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to include it because I like things that are optional. That means that it makes it easy on me, so I'm not going to do that. And then I need an app ID, and that's going to be my API key. And then I'm going to put in my API key, which I don't have yet. How do I get one? I got to read. Oh, units is important. What does it default to? If you do not use the units parameters, standard units will be applied. I want to use the imperial units because I'm merkin, Jack. So I want to say units imperial. Sorry to all you metric lovers out there. Let's find out how we get an API key. How do we get an API key? I bet you have to log in to get one. And I'm already logged in. Let me see. My API keys. So that's where you get it. You log in, and then you'll get an API key. So when you go here for the first time, log in, create an account, get your API key. I'm not going to show you mine. Okay, I have my API key. And here it is. And by the time you watch this video, that API key won't work. So you're going to have to get your own damn key. All right, let's continue on. So now I have all my stuff set up. It's time to do the 3 lines of code that we always do whenever we call any API. It's response, requests, and I believe this was a get, the URL. I'm going to take a guess and assume it's a get. And then params, going to be the query string. Then we're going to say response, raise for status. That way, if we get any other error, other than any other response other than a 200, it throws an error. Then we're going to say data response JSON. Data could be the weather at this point. I'm assuming I'm going to get weather back. Weather. And then let's just take a look at weather. See what happens here. And I got an error. Client error for unauthorized URL. So it says it does not like my URL. My URL did not work. I got a 401. Okay. So this is not invalid API key, it says. So maybe I used the wrong API key. Let me check on that. Again, I got to go to the portal, so I'm going to pause it. All right, now it works. With a slight adjustment, it works fine. So let me go add another cell here, and let's just play around with weather. Right, so here's the output. I don't need to keep recalling the API every time, so I just need to look at the output here. Oops, I have the wrong cell. There we go. I just need to look at the output. Let me hear cell current output clear. I don't get confused there. So let's see here. We have the temp is 40, and the weather description is scattered clouds. Okay, let's see. So that's all under. It looks like that's under the current key. Current, and then temp. 40. So that's the temperature. All right, let's try it again. I like to put them in variables as I figure them out. Weather current. And then there's I want this scattered clouds here. It's under weather. Then I got a list. See that? There's a list. But there's only one thing in the list. If there's more than one thing in the list, I probably want the first one. And then I want this key description. You just have to figure it out, folks. That's how it works. You know, you see what I'm doing here. This is why a notebook is so good at doing this. It's hard to do otherwise. Scattered clouds. So this is conditions. Okay. Now let's play around with that output. Or if you remember from looking at the output way up here, right? You know, it's in big text, and then it's in fancy text, right? So we use IPython display for that, right? So we can say display HTML, and then I'll use like heading. You can pick a heading 2, and say current conditions at, and then whatever the location variable is. Make that an F string. You need to end that H2 out. These tags format it. This H2 and this H2. And I'm going to put in a location. Location is Syracuse, New York, right? That's going to be input. See, now it says current conditions at Syracuse, New York. And then we could say display HTML. And then I want to use a paragraph for this one. And we want to say in an F string, we want to say conditions are conditions with a temperature of temp degrees F. Okay. Conditions are scattered clouds with a temperature of 40.01 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. See how I did that? How I made that output? Right? This is the condition right here. Extract out the current conditions and the temp from the weather output. All right, so I figured that out. Now it's a matter of getting that weather icon. All right, let's go and look at the output again. So you should notice how I'm not calling the API over and over again. There's no need to do that. You already have the output here. Right? Just keep using the output. All right, now somewhere in here is a weather icon. I see an icon right there. See that? 03D. What the hell does that mean? I'm just going to put that in up here. Icon 03D. 03D. And I'm going to go to the API. I wonder if it says anything about the icons. So call, list of weather alerts, multilingual supports, units of measurements. Let's see what it has in the output. Let's see. Go through the output. Where is the icon? I'm going to look for it. Icon. Okay. Icon. How to get icons. There we go. See? I told you. It's just a matter of digging with a shovel. You'll find it. Don't ask me. When you say, how do I do this with my API? I'm just going to say, I don't know. The answer is the same way I'd figure it out. Investigate. Okay, so icon list. Oh, so URL is this. Interesting. Oh. So this right here is the code. I can do that. Hell. Let's go back to my pandas. Icon URL is this. Right? And then this is the icon itself. See that? And then let's just print the icon URL. Aha! Aha! Now, how do you print it in the notebook? Okay, that is you need to import from IPython display. You need to import image. We've done this a couple times before. Now you can come down here and say display image URL icon URL. Like that. Oh, I got to re-import this, right? Run this. And then now I can run this. There we go. There's my image. All right, that one's done. Check that one off. Now, I have to get icon out of weather. I haven't done that yet. I just hard-coded in some icon. Right? I can make this anything I want. Right? Let's go back here. Like I want it to be this one. Look at this one here. Snowflake. 13N. 13N. Boom, snowflake. I can make it anything I want. I shouldn't do that. I should get it from the output. So where was that? It was under weather current. All right, now I'm going to need to comment these out. Weather current. Oh, icons in here. So it's under the weather key. Then it's in that list. Then I can get icon. There. All right. So my icon is that. Icon URL is that. Display the icon. Okay. So that displays the current conditions. It would help to spell conditions, right? This displays the icon. Okay. So I got those done. Now I got to figure out this 7-day forecast. All right. Let's see what we got here. Again, there's no sense in redoing the API. No sense in redoing this. Let is open up another cell. Weather. Okay, let's look through here. Here's the minute by minute forecasts, right? Here's the hour by hour forecasts. How do I know this? Current, minute forecast, hourly forecast, daily forecast. They're all right there. So I will not use the daily forecast. You figure that out. I am going to show you how to do it with the hourly forecast. It's the same approach. It really is. So if I take weather hourly, now what I get is a list. See this? I get this list. And that list has a bunch of dictionary keys in it. So I can build a data frame out of this just by using PD data frame. Because you can build a data frame out of any list of dictionary whatsoever. So now I have a data frame of all of those values. This one over here is nested. See that? I can even flatten that if I want. I think I can flatten that. I don't know. But you don't even need that, right? Because what do we need out of this data frame? What does it say up here? We need day. Whoops. We need, where did I go? Day, low, and high. All right. Day, load, low, and high. So this one doesn't have day in it, but it does have low and high in here, right? Does it have low and high? It does not, because this is the hourly. But if you grab the daily, let's see, does it have, let's go to the daily one. Daily. Is there a, there's a, is there a low and a high in here? Min max. There you go. Low and high. Okay. How do you get the day? I don't see the day in here, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't see that in here. So that's like a last mile problem, right? You have the date time in there, but you don't know what day it is, right? So at worst, just show this date and don't worry about showing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you want to know how to show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from that, you have to figure that out yourself. There is a way to take this and convert it. Is that a Wednesday? Is it a Thursday? There's a way to do that. Okay. Using, if you're really curious, it uses the, you have to import date time to do that. Okay. But if you don't figure it out, no big deal. Okay. Just figure out how to only show 3 columns in your data frame. DT, low temperature, high temperature for the day. Okay. You probably want to save this in a variable like this. You know, daily data frame. And then after you save that in the variable, you can then display the daily data frame. But you don't want to display the entire daily data frame. Again, you only want to display the columns that are relevant. So it's up to you to figure out how to display the columns that are relevant. It's up to you to figure out how to get the daily data frame instead of the hourly data frame. And it's up to you to piece this all together into an interact, which should be fairly simple now at this point, right? You know, you can add another header here, you know, down here that says, you know, 7-day forecast, 7-day forecast for that location, right? You'll have that. And then it's really just a matter of piecing it all together, which again, I 100% leave up to the reader. You probably want to turn this into a function, which is going to be easy to do, you know, def, get weather, lat lon. Then you're no longer going to use these values here. And then you're going to return weather. Then down here, you need to write your interact. Write interact, input location, then you call geocode, call get weather, call geocode, call get weather, you know. Then we're going to do what? We're going to do this. You're not going to have this in there no more. That doesn't make any sense. That's going. So you do this. Then you show this. Then you figure this out. That's it. That's the whole program. Shouldn't be so bad. I'll leave it up to you to figure it out. Okay, everybody, that's your homework advice for this week. Have a good one. Bye now.